And now I will be discussing about the electrode analysis. So in this first we have to know that this BI is a non-invasive method of measuring electrical resistance and the reactance of the body tissue to determine body composition, including the body fat, muscle mass and the fluid balance. So these things we have to measure, and then from there itself we can see that. So these are the body composition, body fat, similarly muscle mass and then fluid balance. So this we have to know, and then we should knowing about it is a very quick method and is easy to perform this procedure, and that can provide valuable information on the progress of the wound healing process. From this BI electrode method one can get the information about those body conditions, and from those information one can go for the maybe doctor can go for the what is the condition or status of their recovery process. From there itself one can see that one can predict how much time it may take and what are the kind of the drugs they can give. So based on that this detail only doctor can move for the further treatment process. Similarly, it may BI monitor the wound healing process with fluid and the body balance changes, tissue dehydration and the body composition, what are the changes will be taking place. So the function of the BI electrode there are various functions. Those functions includes first one is it is used to measure the impedance and reactance of the body tissue to a small electrical current. So when the small electrical current will pass through the this wound, so BI electrode will capture this information like impedance and the reactance of the body tissue is there. So and it will give the information about those things, and from those information doctor can further process for the further treatment process. Similarly, this electrode are placed in the skins of the surface, whatever the body skins are there, and it is the electrode is immersed in that area, and it is used to access the fluid content of the wound process. So once a doctor will know about what is the fluid contents, then they can go for the treatment process. Based on that they have to do the analysis process, then they can start with the what kind of the medication is required, is there any therapy is required, or it may be injection is required, or it may be tablets are required. Based on that they can go. And similarly it can be also think that maybe any surgical procedure is required or not. So those detail, after knowing about the body reactance and resistance of the wound healing area, then only doctor can go for their planning. Similarly it can measure what are the changes in the body content infection, inflammation and other complications that may lead to the healed process. So from this electrode this information can be also captured. So based on that I was talking about the doctor can plan for the further treatment process. Similarly, it is commonly used electrode material includes silver coated nylon, carbon coated polyester, similarly conductive elastomers. So these are the commonly used materials for the BI electrode. It can be metallic or non-metallic based. If you are using the non-metallic material, in that case coating of the electrode is must, because unless and until our electrode will be not conductive, then electrical current will not pass. If the electrical current is not passing, in that case what are the information related to the body wound will be there not captured. So the function doctor cannot get the information about what is the condition of the wound is there. So those things. Similarly, it is the most challenging to manufacture than the traditional method. Why? Because the BI electrode will be very complex in profile, shape and size. Why? Because we know that the wound in person to person will be having different profile. like depth, width, and the body fluid contents. So this lead to the customization of the electrode. So as we know that customization of the electrode using conventional method will be very very difficult. So but in the case of 3D printing technologies, as we know that in 3D printing technology we require CAD design, computer aided design model. So once our design is ready, so we can go for the manufacturing. So here the advantage of the CAD design is there. As per the person to person profile of the wound, one can design the electrode itself as per the wound profile. Yes, so in that way this will lead to the any customization of the electrode very very easy using the additive manufacturing process. So here the how customization of the electrode can be done, so those things is very very essential. So in designing and manufacturing of the customized bio electrode, so is very very essential for the wound healing technologies. So the wearable technology has the potential to revolutionize the healthcare, fitness and communication like technologies related to the wound healing process, and any kind of the disease will be there. So BI electrode are a very critical component in monitoring the wound healing. Similarly, their customization is necessary. As just I was discussing about why customization is necessary. Similarly, 3D printing technique is a unique solution. As well, I was discussing about we can go for the any customization as we can start with the design model. So the design model can we go for the like what is the shape and design and what is thickness, what parameters, those can be easily controlled. And this level of customization is not possible using conventional manufacturing or traditional manufacturing process. That's why this manufacturing of the BI electrode or customization of the BI electrode is very very easy using 3D printing technology or additive manufacturing technologies. So designing and development of electrode involves there are various steps. As we know that there are different 7 stages in the additive manufacturing process, or you can say that process chain of the additive manufacturing process. So here also we have to follow those steps to get a design and manufacturing of the BI electrode. So those steps, first we require design of the electrode. As we know that first step in the additive manufacturing technology is the designing the CAD model. So designing the CAD model can be used using any CAD software, computer aided design software. So like CATIA, it can be used for the SolidWorks, or it can be used Creo, or one can use a Fusion 360. Similarly, one can use the Autodesk. So there are various softwares. So in that one can go for the designing of the electrode. Once your design is ready, so in that case you can go for the like sending your design model to the STL file format, because in additive manufacturing process we require slicing of the total whole part which is need to be fabricated. So each slicing having certain thickness. So as per the one layer thickness, only the slicing thickness will be decided. So those steps we have to perform. That's why it required the STL file format. Then preparing for the 3D printing process means that you have to go for the like setting the parameters in the additive manufacturing, what are the machine are used. Similarly, the loading the materials. Similarly, the whether the machine power is switched on or off. So similarly, the what are the other requirement, those has to be arranged near to the machine itself. So in that way the preparing of the printing machine is essential. And after that once you are ready with the like a design model, and you loaded with the and you started with the what are the correct parameter settings, so one can start with the printing process. Once printing is started, after that it will complete what is the total like profile of the part will be there. So those profile will be completed one upon other, like here layer upon layer printing will be there. So similarly the whatever the total length of the profile of the electrode will be there, so those profile layer upon layer will be built up or printed, and after that one has to be remove out from the what are the connected sub part will be there from that printer, so those sub part has to be removed, and then after that one can go for the surface quality treatment process. So in that after testing and characterization we have to perform for the manufactured electrode, so whether the proper strength, hardness and other parameters the printed electrode having or not, so those will be done during the testing and characterization of the electrode. So similarly the what are the so these are things you have to adopt. Similarly what are the different materials can be used for the BI electrode, that can be some of the materials we have discussing about the conductive filament. Why conductive filament? Earlier I have discussed about because in 3D printing process one can use the polymer material or metallic material. So here we are discussing about the making of the electrode using polymer material. So once you made the polymer material, so electrode should be conductive material. So polymer material related part is not having the conductive in nature. So for that purpose you have to go for the coating of the electrode. Yes. Similarly it should be flexible filament. Flexible filament means whatever the electrode we have manufactured, that are also having the flexible, so that maybe sometimes during the treatment process it may be lead to the slowly maybe profile some flexibility should be there. Yes. So there are certain material like a TPU, thermoplastic polyurethane will be there, so those material also flexible in nature, and these are also non-conductive materials. So and after that one can go for similarly the nylons can be also used. Similarly polyurethane, terephthalate glycol can be used, PETG. So there are different materials which is available for those. Similarly there are certain metallic 3D printing material also suitable for the bioimpedance electrode manufacturing. So there those you can go for the titanium, you can go for the stainless steel. Similarly the maybe materials related to CVN will be there. Yes, there are different materials that can be used, and but one should know about those materials should be biocompatible materials. So there are different 7 type of the electrode which can be used for the wound healing process. That includes surface electrode. So simple it may be not inserted into the, so those detail I will be discussing in coming slides. So second type of the electrode could be the transcutaneous electrode. So similarly segmental electrode can be there. So needle type of the electrode, and the one can go for the adhesive kind of the electrode. So there are different profile of the electrode and type of the electrodes are which is available for the making process. Now coming to the development of PI electrode using laser sintering technologies. So laser is used for the heating selectively and fuse layer of the powder material to create the solid object. So in this process what will happen, the first powder material will be spread on the build platform, and then what are the area where the scanning is required or printing is required, only in those area our laser will be passing, and then fusion and the binding of the material or this material SLS material will be taking place, and then one can go for the finalization layer upon layer. So conductive layer is mixed with the non-conductive polymer material to fabricate the BI electrode. So one can mix with the conductive and non-conductive material, both can be used for the making of the BI electrode, because sometimes we require here always we know that we have to get it the conductive electrode itself, so that passing of the current is required. Unless until passing of the electrical current is not possible, then maybe printing maybe not that can't be used for the this applications. So this similarly the powder mixture is then spread out in the thin layer of selectively melted by the, so one can go further. Suppose you are using SLM process, so there also we have to know that once powder is spread, and then what are the area the scanning is required, so those scanning will be done. So the resulting electrode are also used strong, durable, and have the good electrical conductivity. So what are the electrode which is made by this process having the good electrical properties, similarly it has the good mechanical properties, similarly strong also. So similarly this kind of the electrode is a relatively expensive and the time consuming process. Why? Because you know about these material are more costly for the production of the powder itself, and after powder itself you are making the electrode. And also you know that 3D printing process is the time taking process as compared to conventional manufacturing processes. So similarly this is the setup diagram. In that setup diagram you can see that different type of the design is available. So first thing just I will be discussing about here. You now see that here, let me show pointer. So this is the setup diagram for the SLS process. So in this diagram one can see that this is the powder delivery system. So this is the, in this system the whatever the powder material we have used, so those will be stored here, and how much quantity of the powder is required in each layer, so that much quantity of the powder will be coming out, and this roller will take away those quantity from this delivery system to the next where the printing will be or fabrication of the part will be taking. So once a new layer will be spread, after that this laser will scan the area where the printing is required. So on those selected area only the heating will be taking place and fusion will be taking place. So this once this one layer of the part printing is done, after that one can go for the next repetition of the task will be done. So here one can use the a thermal processes, so heat energy is required. Similarly the powder material can be used, so polymer powder material can be used in this process. Similarly so here commercialized powder can be also used. So these are the one of the first method which is used for the making of the any product using the powder bed system. Similarly it is one of the more thermal resources, and inducing the powder between the particle is required. So it is the method for the controlling powder fusion to a prescribed region for the each layer. So the mechanism of the adding a smooth layer powder is required in this process. So what are the major component of this SLS process? As we know that we require the energy. So energy, how we can energy for the heating and fusion of the particle is required. So for that we are using the laser system. So this is the laser system which can be used. So this is the laser system which can be used for the production of the laser light, and this laser light will is coming to the scanning system. In that scanning system the direction of the laser light will be changed or maybe focused, so as per the requirement only. So we require the power source. Similarly we require the powder, so for making of the component, so powder material can be used, a different type of the powder material. Similarly scanning system, so this is the scanning system which can be used for the scanning purpose. So sometimes slow scanning is required, sometimes higher scanning is may be required. So similarly sometimes we require certain kind of the energy, so those parameter can be controlled. Similarly we require, this is the powder delivery system. So this as we have discussed about. Similarly the powder here fabrication system. So these are the things we have. Similarly rollers and fabrication pistons. This is the fabrication pistons. So similarly functionally powder, this fabrication system itself will act as the powder bed. So these things, these are the different component of the SLS process. So how SLS process is working, so those things I have some small videos, so that video can be used for the purpose. So here just I will play a small video.
Original instructions are programmed. The laser unit directs a high-powered beam to a reflective mirror. From there, a galvomotor system steers the focused beam to the powder surface. Each layer of part geometry is then sintered into a heated bed of nylon. Pistons move the supply container up and the build chamber down, while a roller moves across the bed to distribute the next layer of powder. Excess powder is captured in a collection container. The process is repeated layer by layer until the build is complete.
So in this way we can see that here how the printing is taking place in the SLS process. So those small video one can understand. So coming to the here, the first thing you have to perform a dispersion of the powder material on the build platform or powder bed system itself. And then sometimes we require preheating the powder, because sometimes powder will be not having in such a condition, so suddenly it can take the sometimes it may having the some foreign particle content, so those particle will be burned out during the preheat treatment. Similarly, sometimes maybe some of the powder will be having some moisture contents, so those moisture contents has to be removed out, so that while actual printing will be taking that time whatever the heat energy is supplied, so it will be uniformly distributed to each powder particle. So each powder will start the partial melting and the fusion will be taking place for the all those particles. Similarly, the scanning of the entire area of cross section is required. So for that laser scanner will be there. So laser scanner will move away the this scanning system, so that what are the area in which our CAD model is designed, those area only it will scan. So similarly, it can be used for the once scanning is taking place, so that whatever the heat energy of the laser system will be there, those heat energy will be supplied to the powder or transferred to the powder. So powder will be heated and then fusion will be melting, partial melting will be starting. So because of the partial melting and then some of the surface material will be in molten stage, so that time fusion of the one powder material with the adjacent powder material will be taking place. So similarly, the followed by the loading of the you have to once one part is one layer is built, that time again you have to reduce your build platform down by one layer thickness. So that's why new place of the powder will be spread on the already built layers. So similarly, this process will be repeated unless last layer will be printed out. So this kind of thing be taking. We'll discuss about this is all about the how the energy will be used and then printing will be taking place. Now coming to the different profile with the one case study, in that you can say that these are the different profile of the electrode. Why different profile of the electrode? Because a person to person electrode design may be different to different. So for that purpose, one can go for the one profile. Similarly, sometimes surface electrode is required, sometimes needle electrode is required. So you can see that these are the needle electrodes. This will be the surface electrode. That's why different profile of the electrode is required. So here the design of the mechanical structure of electrode using 3D printing modeling software will be required. So as we know that CAD model is required, so in CAD model we can use any design software like CATIA, Fusion 360, similarly Creo. So SolidWorks, as per the requirement one can go for the So once your CAD mode is required, and then you can go for the printing of the whatever the layers will be there, layer upon layer building will be taking place. So here the multiple design iteration will be required, as we are handling the powder metallic material. That time one go energy beam may be not sufficient to provide that much like energy, so that multiple times we have to perform. Similarly, the one can perform the coating of the like printed part, because sometimes you are not using the metallic material of the powder, so in that case coating has to be performed. So that's why suitable coating material one has to be select also. So similarly, the testing of the electrode you have to perform, and characterization of the electrode you have to perform. Yes, so these are the different type of the design which is available in the. So this design we have taken the this research paper. In that you can see that these are the different version of the like electrode profile. So after that final version, this is the final version, and that was decided, and these are the different like design also. So one can see that how the designing will start, and the final printing will be taken, and these are the final printed profile of the electrode will be there. So now we have to perform the suppose understanding about the like coating of the electrode. So coating of the electrode, there are certain steps one has to be follow. So first that we have to clean your 3D printed part. So whatever the product or design of the electrode you have made, so that electrode has to first cleaned with the proper cleaning mechanism. Soon after that maybe surface structure of the electrode will be properly cleaned. So after that like maybe prepared silver coating. For that you have to perform the coating of the silver. So for that you have to prepare the silver like solutions. So by dissolving in the like silver nitrate in the deionized water. So after that one has to place the 3D printed electrode in the silver electrode solution, and it will be immersed for the maybe 5 to 10 minutes. After that maybe coating will be developed on the whatever the like polymer tinted part will be there. So those will be coating will be developed. So now after that you have to remove the your coated part from the this solutions, silver solutions, and it has to be rinsed or maybe cleaned properly with the deionized water, so that no stacking of any other foreign particle will be there on the surface of the coated electrode. And after that you have to apply thin layer of the silver epoxy onto the surface of the electrode. So and then once this will be performed, after that one can go for the testing and characterization of the coated electrode. So these are the different like design. In that silver coated two samples are presented here. So you can see that this is one profile, another is the another like reverse side of the same electrode itself. So here under side showing the fingers. So this showing fingers of the like electrode, so that this finger portion will be going inside the wound. So that this from this surface itself one can get the whatever the desired information which is required, like what is the fluid contents, similarly the what is the depth, how much depth, and what is the reactance, resistance of the like body fluid or tissue will be there. So those information will be captured from these fingers of the electrode itself, and then similarly from this area the information will be wire will be connected with the whatever the like connections will be there, device connection wire will be there from this tip itself. So there several tests has to be conducted to characterize the performance of the 3D printed electrode. Some of the tests includes like you have to go for the impedance testing. Similarly you have to go for the signal quality testing. So similarly variability testing will be there. So similarly long term stability of the electrode is there or not. So those things will be done. After that one can go for the what is the at least you have to reduce the how much the like different variability will be there, like noise or anything, so that it can be having the proper signal. So you will require electrode material for that. Similarly, what is the electrode shape and size, similarly the electrode surface treatment process. So these are the some variability. So for the change in the electrode impedance of the electrode will be there. So electrode placement is also one of the important factors. If it is not properly placed in the proper places, so it will not capture the proper information. Once we are not capturing the proper information from the body, like what are the area where the bond is there, so in that case proper analysis may be not taking place. If the proper analysis is not taking place, in that case what will happen? It may be lead to the proper improper information. So doctor may treat in the wrong direction itself. That's why proper getting information about those is accurate information is very, very essential. So then one can check for the whether electrode impedance is matching or not. So those information, so for reducing impedance of the electrode, we require careful consideration of the electrode materials, shape and size, surface treatment, placement and impedance matching. So these things, these are the very, very important factor. Then what are the factors that will influence different frequencies? So current frequencies, so those detail will be discussing. So here the first BI can be performed at different frequency of the alternating current or AC current ranging from the kilohertz to megahertz. So similarly, the choice of the frequency depends upon the specific applications and the electrode property of the tissues. Similarly, the electrodes at different frequency have the shown to different effect on the healing process. So that's why we are performing the information about the what is the healing status. So based on that only the what is the information received, doctor can start the treatment process. So BI impedance may be talking from maybe I discussed earlier 10 kilohertz to 100 kilohertz, resulting in significant faster wound healing than the other frequency. So these are the ranges. In between this range, optimal value of the analysis can be done and the faster healing process will be done. So this BI electrode method treatment may have increased blood flow to the wound side. So because of that analysis, we can know that what is the fluid content. So it will lead to the more blood flowing to the wound area, so that it may take faster process for the healing process. Similarly, what are the potential factors that can affect the accuracy and reliability of the electrode includes wound exudate will be there. Similarly, the tissue dehydration will be there. Similarly, the tissue composition, electrode composition. So similarly, shape and size of the electrode, electrical interference will be there. Similarly, patient factors will be there. So these are the factors that will affect the whatever the electrode measurement detailing will be there. So those will affected. So similarly, the mechanical performance of the BI electrode can be performed what is the adhesion capability. Similarly, what is the flexibility, how much flexibility of the electrode is there, they are rigid or flexible. Those can be done proper testing characterization. Similarly, durability of the electrode, similarly shape and size of the electrode will be there. So those factors one has to be knowing about, and from this value what is the mechanical properties of the electrode will be there. Those will be can be predicted here. Similarly, whether the biocompatibility there or not, that also can be done. So similarly, the recording performance of the BI electrode in wound healing types depends upon the there are various factors. So the performance of the BI electrode in terms of the recordings may vary based on their design, materials and applications. So similarly, the surface electrode have shown that to provide more accurate and reliable measurement. There, as I was discussing about the different type of the electrode, so maybe surface electrode can give the more accurate information, reliable information than the other type of the electrode. Similarly, the needle type of the electrode will provide more precise measurement of the electrical properties, particularly at the more deeper levels. So, at the more deeper level, this needle electrode will be better than the other type of the surface electrode. Similarly, adhesive electrode have shown their good contact with the skin and can give the useful in the area where the other electrode may not be adhere properly, such as the bony area or joints. So those area this adhesive electrode will be more suitable and it will give more accurate information than the other type of the electrode. So similarly, what are the noise performance of the BI electrode even the wind wheeling will be there discussing. So these are the key factors that will affect the noise performance of the BI electrode in the wind wheeling process. That includes electrical materials, electrode design. Similarly, cable shielding will be there because it is electrode will be connected with the different cables. So proper shielding of the cable is also very important. Similarly, what is the patient motion will be there, movement will be there, that has to be stopped. So by any means. Similarly, how the signal is processing also one of the important factors. So similarly, what are the challenges and risk will be there using this method includes 3D printed parts are highly susceptible and durability and easily breakable when pulled wrongly due to the produced layer by layer upon. Meaning is that 3D printed part is built layer upon layer. So when suppose you are performing high tensile test, so in that case what will happen? Breaking upon between the layer is very high chances when they will be pulled wrongly. So that's why what kind of the printing orientation is required. So those orientation has to be decided based on the what kind of the application one can going for that. So for tensile testing, horizontal printing will be more suitable. So similarly, for high compressive load application, one can go for the vertical printing in the vertical direction. Yes, so in that way one can part orientation in the vertical direction. So similarly, the high skilled professional is required. Why high skilled professional? Because sometimes we know that CAD modeling is required. So CAD modeling can't be done by simple person. So for that they should be knowing about the different CAD designing softwares. So from that CAD designing skills they can go for the designing of the very complex profile for the electrode. As we know that a very simple profile can be made and can be printed using conventional method also, but here we are going for the complex profile. So complex profile can only be manufactured using the design can be designed using a very complex in the design software only. So that's why sometimes if proper part design is not there, in that case maybe sometimes more cracking, maybe other uniformity issue will come. Similarly, the part produced should be tested and approved by the concerned government agency, meaning that certain part you are printing and you are using for biomedical applications. So whatever the government agency related to their medical equipment processing and then approval is required. So from that government agency one can have to take the approval, and then once you got the approval, after that one can go for the selling the product in the market itself. But that is the one concern, because sometimes the government is not allowing. So or concerned agency will be there, not simply allowing. So that could be one of the challenges. Similarly, the material sourcing, because this material should be biocompatible material. So everywhere the biocompatible material will be not available, so we have to contact with the proper vendor so that can provide the biocompatible material, and that also they can ensure that these material having the biocompatibility in nature. Sometimes how much purity is there, so that also one has to be depend upon the suppliers itself. If they are not supplying proper 100% pure materials, that maybe sometimes may cause problem for the patient itself. Yes, similarly the manufacturing process, what are the manufacturing processes are used, those are also very important. So similarly the disposal of the, like sometimes once treatment is over and the patient is fully recovered, after that you have to dispose those materials and other relevant sub-components will be there, so that it should not create any harmful effect to the environment or any harmful effect to the society also. So proper disposal is also very important. So nowadays every hospital having the proper disposal system in their they will be coming, a dust collecting person will come and they will collect all the like medical wastage, and they will be segregated into the different sections or different classified items, and then they will be sent for the further treatment and disposal process. Similarly, sometimes one has to perform so many clinical trials is required. So based on the clinical detailed data, one can decide how much success rate of that particular component of part is there or electrode is there. So that based on that it can be decided, and then once it is 100% is successful or success rate is more than 90 to 100, that time the government agency can easily give the permission for the uses of that electrode or BI electrode. So similarly the risk analysis we have to perform whether any harmful effect to the patient is there. So for that one can go for the risk analysis process. Yes. So these are the some of the challenges which may occurring during the bioimpedance analysis using the 3D printed electrode. So what are the future perspective will be there? So future perspective of 3D printing includes one can use the combined with the healing process, so one can go for the AI application. So from the AI applications itself, doctor can predict what could be the period for that period one has to perform the treatment procedure, or one can go for the surgical process. So here based on the data only one can go for the model development, and then from that model development prediction can be or lifetime prediction for the wound healing process can be conducted. Similarly person time to time what is the status, maybe some after 2 weeks what is the status of the wound healing process after 8 weeks. Similarly like that one can perform the what is the wound healing status using the AI technique also. Similarly this AI algorithm can help process and interpret the data obtained from the BI measurement, as I was discussing about the based on this data only the classified information will come. Based on that classified information doctor can go for the treatment process, whether the long time treatment is required or maybe sometimes short duration treatment is required. So what kind of the medication is required, so those can be decided after that. That's why AI is very important in this aspect also. Similarly it can provide more accurate and reliable information about the wound healing process. So AI powered algorithm can also help to identify pattern and correlation in BI data that maybe not be apparent to the human eye, allowing to the earlier detection of the any changes in the wound healing process. So these are the some of the challenges which may occur during the wound healing analysis. So this is all about today's lecture about the applications of the 3D printing process in the design and manufacturing of the bioimpedance analysis electrode, and then their application, and then what are the changes may come. So thank you one and all for attending today's sessions.